chasing the pounds, the stories won't last. Why not, why not? Let's make a deal. Trade my soul for a color that's real.
Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's What Not, Why Not time. I'm your host, Flatter Santa. We're here. It's 8 o'clock, but we've got some people backstage. They're ready. They're ready to talk about some cool What Not topics this week that we've got queued up for you. So here we go. First up, the Soder Pop Comics, Richard and Mel Soder. Everybody, welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Hope everybody's having a good day. Happy hump day. Got the chubby going. We're ready.
I don't need to know, but maybe they do. All right. Next, we've got Skipping Stones. T's here to give us her takes on all the topics that we've got this week.
Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody.
Hey. And the person that said he wasn't going to go, he probably just wanted to try to run me over with his truck. You know, it just is what it is. Mr. Punisher Rider.
He's on mute again. There he is.
Hello. Punisher Rider has arrived.
You sound so excited.
Yeah, it's like, yay, Punisher Rider is here.
I can't hear Flat at Earth at all. I'm going to have to back out and come back in.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, guys, yeah. We've got, he'll come back in. This Streamlab's been goofy on phones lately. It's been really just goofy. Some people just
a couple weeks ago when I was at my daughter's.
Yeah, it's just not. I don't know what StreamYards is doing. Can you hear me now, Punisher?
Yeah, I can hear you. It was the same thing that happened Monday.
Yeah, I don't know they're gonna have to fix something.
There was a new update on the iPhones this weekend, so I don't know if it's that or if it's something else.
I don't know. Okay. Well, we'll go with what we've got, anyways. Couple topics that got put into the queue. Just because not everybody does it necessarily, at least here, but I think it's something that we should talk about, and everyone should implement, and that's using social media as an auxiliary helping tool to your whatnot. To your whatnot stream. We'll go around the horn, starting with Richard. What do you use do you use social media? Do you use it to help your whatnot? If not, what are you looking to possibly do?
I do not use it enough. I have Instagram and Facebook. I've posted like upcoming shows for like the Black Friday one, the big ones that I do in a year. But I do not utilize it enough. I have it Instagram connected to my Facebook, so I'm going to have to separate the two, or just create a separate Instagram account just for my my brand. And I think that would be probably the right way to go. But it's not utilized enough, and I totally admit that.
Okay. Skippin', do you use social media for anything to help with your whatnot streams?
No, I don't, but I have considered it. My social media is just for keeping up with my grandkids and old friends, but I've been looking at it. I actually was talking with another streamer about doing it, and my concern is I'm just not big on social media on a personal level, so it will be hard for me to transition on a professional level, but I do think it has its benefits.
Okay.
So-
We lost Rich. Mr. Punisher, I know you've got it. What do you use it for?
Well, I can tell you that when I first started, I didn't. Pretty much my Facebook that I have, because Gen X pretty much went from MySpace to Facebook. That's just private. Um, I don't ever post anything on it. But then about a year ago, I would say, I started using my Instagram. I had Instagram, but I never really used it. And I was like, well, I'm making these books. I might as well put the stuff on there. Now, it is a private account because I want to screen who I'm allowing to come in, make comments, see. And I'm okay with that. I do think, for example, like Surtur, who creates art and does art, I think it's a good way for his to get his stuff out there, remarks, stuff like that. I use mine primarily for releases coming up or for people to see, not to like sell, but you can use it. I think Rich was right. You kind of want to have two. You kind of want to have a private one that's you, your family, whatever you're doing, and you want to have one that's strictly for the business. And so you can promote shows, promote books. I mean, it's free. You might as well use it. And I think it's a good way to get out to a further audience. I can tell you, Beauty in the Comics. Um, I know I'm name dropping here, but she does fantastic videos to show what she has coming up or what she's going to be selling, and she puts a lot of effort into them, and they're good to watch. So I think it's a good thing. I guess you can use TikTok. I know a lot of people like that. Instagram. I don't know so much on X, but I honestly, besides Instagram and Facebook and the X and TikTok, I don't really know anything, no other ones, but I'm sure there is some. But
Sure.
you might as well use it. I mean, anything you can do to advertise or even get people to follow your fans and kind of see maybe you got something cool coming up, maybe you got a big show coming up, or maybe you have a drop like Skippin had with her coloring book, kind of
Mhm.
get people excited, people that, you know, because what happens is you get, say, Flat Earth followed me and then Soder Pop followed me, and there's people that um don't follow me, for example, and they jump in and say Rich likes something on mine, then they might see it too, so then they might start following you. So it's just a way to get more people towards you and build your brand.
Yep.
Sure. Like what what I've seen being used for is like big shows where they'll do. You remember, Rick? You were doing those the box flips on the
Yep.
previous shows, or you do a preview show or whatever.
Mhm.
Having that out there as a video on Instagram or as a short on YouTube or as a whatever, remember that, and what Punisher had mentioned is you can take things and you can repost, right? It's kind of like what you do on X. X is more for business and people arguing. Um,
Yeah, I would say politics, stuff like that.
yeah, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube are probably your main ones, I guess. Well, Facebook too. Facebook is more where you create groups, groups of people, and you have them together and you say, hey, I'm going live or I'm doing this. Instagram's more, here are the books, here's a video of me flipping through the thing, and you don't have to do it repetitively. And, cool books or like Skippin's Drop, YouTube Shorts, same thing. You're right. Utilize it, I think, to the best of your ability. I mean, I do it for. I started it on Monday, and like I've got that where I'm actually selling on it too, right? So it absolutely makes a difference. Um, I've already got 5 sales, and I started Monday. So like, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And you got to realize that Facebook is like maybe a little bit older generation. I mean, I know it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it that, but and then you got Instagram that's like that mid, and then you got like TikTok, I think is the younger generation. So I would say kind of utilize all of them, but separate them because if you do have any of them, like Skippin said about the grandkids, I don't want some Joe Blow from whatnot that's never met me, know nothing. We don't talk on the phone. We have no connection at all. Commenting on something of my grandkids. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's just it's to separate that privacy. So for example, if you come onto mine, you won't see nothing but comic related stuff.
Mhm.
I didn't even set up a personal one because I really don't need it. I can look at anything through my comic one and I'm fine with that. If you have a personal one, set up a second one. Honestly, just keep it straight about comics and that because say if somebody that's interested in one of my books, they can see everything that I've been able to do and what I've been able to post. And plus, I just launched last week, I think it was, or this weekend, the news of the Vixens drop.
Mhm.
So, and we'll keep you updated as it goes on there. But I I say just keep them separated if you can. I would say I know people use Facebook and you don't want to monitor if somebody's getting stupid, just block their asses. Seriously. I mean, don't worry about getting caught up in no social media drama. I would say that.
Yep.
Yeah. Stay professional when it comes to your business.
Mhm. Um, Also, the because with whatnot, sending information out to all your people. If you get all your people to follow you on Instagram until such tools come along, hint, hint, um, you will be able to get information out to people, um, that you've got a big show coming up and you don't have to rely on whatnot's garbage uh, 5 people uh, per message. It
Hmm.
just right. It's just easy enough. I think we talked about it. I think it was the one when Filthy Hobbitses was on
Yep.
that one, and we were talking kind of about stuff like this. So,
I'm going to give you the dark side now. You know
yep,
how
okay.
Punisher always gives you the dark side every week.
It's got cookies. I mean, come
There's
on.
people, there are people that use social media to talk shit about other people and whatnot, or to talk about this, start drama. Then all of a sudden, you got people from you have never seen before in your life coming in your stream, starting shit and starting trouble and trying to start like it's just insane. So that's like where Rich said, remain professional. Be careful what you put out there. I highly recommend, hey, I'm having a show. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm dropping. Do not get into a battle or a beef on whatnot, or because it'll affect your business or on social media because that shit's forever. I mean, people will snap that shit. People will try to use it against you. I'm just saying it's just common sense shit, but it still needed to be said.
Hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah. And as you said, you use it, use each one differently because they are. You're right. I would say your Facebook is your boomers, like late boomers and Gen Xers, and IG is late late Gen Xers, millennials, and TikTok's your Zoomers and your alphas. So different crowd, different generations.
Alphas. Trust me, that generation is not alphas.
Well, that's what they're calling them.
Yeah, that's their pronoun.
Yeah,
That's the first I've heard that.
really? Oh no,
Yeah.
they're I think betas are just starting now.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It is, yeah, it's crazy, yeah.
I'm in the know.
But yeah, I would say use it, use it to the best of your ability. Um, Again, it's another avenue, Instagram and TikTok, for sales. So is Facebook. I mean, before Whatnot came along, it was Facebook for most sales for comics, besides eBay. Um, it's just another avenue. The only thing is, with Instagram, you need 1,000 followers in order to go live. That's and YouTube, you need 200. So
And I can tell you, if anybody thinks that Whatnot's going to be the only live streaming app here in the next 5 years, they're kidding themselves. We're already starting to see other apps coming. And me personally, I was talking about this today with somebody. I think eventually Whatnot's going to be purchased by Amazon. My personal guess, I think eventually Amazon is going to want it. And they're already using the server. And I think that Facebook might get involved, and eBay's trying to get something involved. So who knows who's going to do stuff on eBay? Even though eBay's aiming towards like Golden and some bigger people that I've seen,
mhm.
but I think you're going to see some major changes within the next 5 years. So I think it is important that you are aware of this and adapt to what's going to be coming.
Oh yeah,
Because
Mercari.
if you did not see the email or pay attention, they have said that there's going to be 50 additional categories coming, including, which I cannot believe until somebody gets sick and get a massive class action lawsuit, is farm to table.
Oh Jesus.
Uh-huh. So I paid attention to all that shit when that email came directly from the CEO of Whatnot.
Yeah, I got it too.
I actually
Yeah,
watched
me
the
too.
CEO today on Whatnot. He was streaming a show, a Q&A show, and there already are people that's doing that, and he himself was buying from um a seller. I don't know whether it's one or multiple. Excuse me, on the farm to fresh um things. But one of the things I wanted to say about what I saw or what I listened to today is that coming in July or this summer, there's going to be a big marketing campaign that we're going to start seeing commercials and billboards and stuff and whatnot commercials and marketing to try and bring in more um, customers, which will probably bring in more sellers as well.
I counted 88 comic sellers last night at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday. 88 of them at the same time.
Wow.
And 90%, 80% of them had less than 3 people in their room.
Yeah, when I was trying to find somebody to raid, it was just so I didn't recognize anybody until we scrolled down quite a ways. And again, like you said, there was like 3 to 8 people in there, and it was just so I jumped in afterwards and started watching some of them, and they're obviously not watching this. It's
No,
pretty crazy.
I'm seeing a lot of just bin, check the bin. I'm seeing like about 20 to 30% of sellers now. It's just they got to sign up, check the bin,
Yeah, or their
and they're
prices
not
are,
even talking.
yeah, or their prices are um, exorbitant, or they're it's just I don't know. They're not putting in the work, and that's just it's sad because we want everybody to eat because that just helps all of us out. But I don't know.
Yeah, Rich, it was after your show. So maybe
Yep.
it wasn't 6 o'clock. I decided to go on and count how many live sellers were in comics. It was 88. And I can tell you, I have made, I mean, I'm always scouring whatnot, check it out, even in other things. May have recognized 3 of them. And that's it.
Well, I can
So,
tell you, I was trying to get him on. Unfortunately, he works early mornings. But Wonderlust, if anybody remembers him,
Yep.
he probably hasn't been on in a year, but he's just come back. And I was talking with Matt, and he's like, "This isn't the same." He's like, you used to be, you might see like 6 o'clock in the morning, you might see 2 to 3 comic sellers. Now there's 40 at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
oh, they go all night. I mean, I've actually seen a lot of um, people go on, I would say between midnight Eastern time till 6 in the morning, like you said. It's insane. And um, how we talk about find your slot, I
Yeah,
can tell you, it's if you're new, it's going to be a hard. You're going to be climbing Mount Everest. And I'm not being mean. I'm not being everything. Unless you got something special, you're bringing something special, or you got something unique. It's going to be like climbing Mount Everest right now. You're just like throwing a bunch of guppies into a tank
Yeah,
at
you
yeah,
got
this
to pay
point.
your dues. I mean, that's what pretty much all of us did. You have to pay your dues. It took me a freaking year to get my feet underneath me and just figure out all the details, the nuances of navigating, trying to find that spot, consistency, building the brand up. Yeah, there's so many people out there that you're competing with. And I didn't have anything like this. I didn't have all the connections that I do now, or that we're making available for other new sellers. Like Skippin came in, and we all took her under our wing, and a lot of people just supported her right off the bat. But she actively engages with people. You can tell she's a genuinely you know good person that's selling comic books on whatnot. A lot of people, they don't have that ambition, that drive, that character to put in the work and the effort.
yeah.
You're
That's
not
fair.
lying, because I sit there and like and Flat catches me sometimes because I think Flat follows me everywhere I go, so he can text me and tell me that it was FMV and all this shit. Every time I buy a book, this son of a bitch is sitting there telling me, "Oh, this was FMV." You know what I mean? It's great,
I just love busting them.
but I jump in their shows, and Flat knows this. Flat scours whatnot, and I check up and down. And I'm telling you, if I'm in a show more than 10 seconds and I haven't seen a book run, I haven't seen any interaction, and it just looks like somebody's just sitting there, it's just some bullshit, I'm out. I don't give a damn what they have.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's
I
no
agree.
yeah.
Alien, thanks for coming in. Glad
What's
to see
up,
you.
homie?
The topic we have, and we'll get your take on it, is using social media for. Oh, sorry.
Alien is the only Canadian we like on this panel, by the way.
There's so many.
We just wanted to see what your thoughts are on using
Thank you
social
for
media
say that. Is it?
for
I haven't seen
auxiliary
this.
stuff.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I use X primarily. It's like kind of a one-stop news and kind of comic book world kind of stop. So I'm using that a lot of times and integrating with eBay to share my new listings there. Also, I made a habit of trying to do every Wednesday where I do a show or I do like a little tweet to say, hey, we're doing a show night, come visit it, click on my link, you get $15, that kind of thing. Try to recruit new users. I've had some success that way, but to be honest, not a lot. But that's really all I've got for social media. It's X. I've heard good things about TikTok and Instagram with respect to comics, so I'd be interested in hearing your all experiences with those.
Let me ask you a question, Alien. Why did you choose X? Because like the instant tweet out and you can, what was the because I know we mentioned X or AK Twitter, but like you're the first person
Yeah.
I've heard that uses that. So what made you use that?
Yeah, great question. I think really, to be honest, it's more of a legacy thing. I just kind of was joined in X back in 2013. I think I started there. And I was more of an observer and not a poster at all until like Elon Musk come around, basically. And then after that, I started posting and stuff. But it's a good question. It's just legacy for me because I'm familiar with it. I was on it before. That's all.
Okay.
What kind of followers have you seen on? What kind of followers have you seen on X since you've been doing it, comic wise?
Yeah, actually, that's another good question. I've been invited to a couple of, I don't know what you call them, like lists, I guess, but they're like certain groups on X, and you can join them. There's one that I'm on, it's Comic Book Canada centric, and there's another one that's just artists and all their awesome stuff. And you, when you're in these little lists, I guess you can post to a select group of folks that are kind of going to look at your stuff because it's like the audience is already there. That's my take on it. And yeah, I also like the fact that they had this live stuff too, the live spaces for other things. And I thought maybe there'd be a way I could integrate that too. But no, in terms of followers wise, some people have been good. Like I said, invited me to some groups. Some are bots. And then you got the odd guy that argues with you no matter what.
Yeah, that's X for sure. I mean yeah. So you're seeing what type of percentage on a return? 1, 2?
Actually, it's another thing I should mention, and Flat Earth, you kind of reminded me of it because it is a tool for business, right? And so I've been successful with the ads piece of X. Actually, I'm paying like next to nothing for a simple X post, and it can have video, it can have images, it can have links and all that, which is basically all my stuff anyway. And you can tailor it as well to certain age groups, like demographics, even geo fencing. Like you can even select a certain area to just target, and it's really cheap. Paying like less than $1, I think, a day. So I may have like a $20 bill at the end of the month, and I've served up like 7,000 ads. So for that piece, I really like it. I don't know about metrics in terms of return on investment, though, Flat, but I have noticed an increase to my traffic to my website since using the ads. I hope that helps.
Yep. Awesome. Anybody else have anything to add or to talk about in the social media auxiliary to your whatnot? Or does anybody in the chat have anything they'd like to know about this topic?
No, me personally, I'm just gonna have to explore it more. So I'm gonna be like hitting up people that are more knowledgeable in it and give me some advice on how to navigate that area since I'm new to it.
Okay. Well, I'll use the name dropping thing. Collector Cove Comics. Everyone knows Covey Cove. He did really well with him and K-Van switching over. Now they do both Instagram and and they've opened up a store, and what do you call it's opened up a store because of it. So, I mean, he's doing pretty well at it. So, you know, social media seems to work for him. Um, and it can work for everybody. It's just getting it right. So, all
Mhm.
right. Well, we don't have any more questions. We've talked about this in previous um, shows. We've talked about making engagements, doing this, doing that. But I want to know, we'll go around the horn, starting with Skipping. Um, what are the engagement techniques that you use that work best for you?
What do you mean? Like in my show, during my show, or
Yeah,
as far as
during your show, your engagement. Well, it doesn't just have to be in the show, but engagement techniques that get your people, that show your customers that they matter to you and help them come back and spend money, getting the engagement. So, what are the
okay.
techniques that you use?
Well, I try and greet everybody as much as I can. When they come in, I try and know them a little bit as much as possible. Um, and the longer they're in the stream, the more I get to know them. And I just try and make it fun. And of course, you know, the giveaways, they help as far as that goes. And I just really try and provide a good customer service, and just really have a good time, and not just sit there and show the next book. um and I think that has fun. I mean, I think that's you know, successful. I do know that trying to build a community both inside my stream and outside my stream is definitely something that's been helpful. You know, I go into other people's streams. I spend the time doing that, and it's time I enjoy. So it's not like it's a work of any sorts, but it does occupy a lot of time. Um, and I try and support them both, either in a purchase here or there, or just chatting with them, and chatting with the other people, and engaging. Sometimes I'll do it while I'm packing orders. Sometimes I do it while I'm doing the dishes and stuff like that. And I'll stop and I'll do stuff. But sometimes it's like I'm so slow because I'm multitasking. But the point being is I'm engaging with them, and you know, just being there to support them. And then I also meet other people while I'm doing it, and then that brings them into my show. And sometimes I'll go in and I'll bless the chat if I see that maybe it feels like it's something that needs to be done, or maybe I just feel like doing it. It's time. And I've even bought books for other people. Just the other day, someone was saying they don't get paid till Friday, but they had purchased books, but they were tapped out, right? But there was one more book, and the guy, he was like, "Can you?" He was asking if you could set the book aside, or get it for a little bit lower, and um, but he didn't have enough for the tax. He had like $20 left that he could spend, and so what I did was I bought the book and told him to send it to him, give it to that guy, right? And I don't do it all the time, but sometimes it's just a little thing, you know. And that's the type of stuff I do. Just I socialize,
Okay.
and I talk to the people, and I'll ask them, like, if someone comes in my room and they're like, they got a unique name, I'll comment about their name, you know, and I'll ask them about it maybe a little bit. Like I had one guy come in, and his I don't want to say his name, but his name was a type of a job, and I was like, so is that, do you do it this way or do you do it that way? And I was kind of being funny about it, but I was I was curious, right? And just that kind of stuff, or commenting about a person's, maybe their picture, you know what I mean, and just kind of engaging with them here and there as I can. But that's really hard when you're looking for, I'm flipping through books on my left side. I'm trying to make sure my numbers are here. I'm trying to read the chat, and it's a good thing I can multitask. The problem is I scroll too much. But that's I just say get out there, be genuine when you're on your show, and be genuine when you're not in your show and you're in somebody else's. Just, and be kind, and have fun with it. Like you guys rib each other, and have fun with it. And I think it. I mean, I know I'm constantly laughing when you guys are busting on each other, and it makes the show funner for me. And I think that when your stream is fun, the person's stream, whoever's stream it is fun, and the chat is having fun, I think that keeps people engaged and keeps them coming back.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. Punisher?
Well, I would say during my stream, it's probably a lot of shit talking. I know Richard's probably gonna say a lot of the same. um, a lot of shit talking, moving books, having fun, laughing. But I would say most of my engagement comes from other people's streams. One, I mod in a lot of streams. A lot of people trust me as a mod. They want me to mod their shows because, first of all, if there's problems, I'm going to take care of it. Two, I can keep a lot of the chat entertained, and plus keep the seller um, engaged and keep the seller knowledgeable what's going on if they need something. I'm watching sales, watching everything like mods should do. Um, the other engagement is whether I'm not a mod or whatever. It's just I go into a show, like say if I go into Crazy Cool, for example, it's like, hey, Crazy Cool, how you doing? As soon as I go into Richard's show, um, I always say something, skip in, doesn't matter. Every time Flack comes in my show, it's usually middle finger, something like that. I'm always engaging with people. As people get to know me, we have like little special things we do in the chat when we see each other, whether it's an emoji or something like that. And people, it's kind of like Flat, where he likes talking shit to people or saying like sarcastic smart ass comments. I have that in my chat. Like if you ever go into a Surtur show and see me and Raven's chick going at it, it's just like we're busting on each other, like Skip and said. And but it's all in good fun. It's not hateful, nasty, over the line kind of stuff. It's just like quick jabs. um, I do that pretty much all over Whatnot, and those are pretty much the shows I stay in. I will like scour across Whatnot, just check in if I'm looking, just to see if there's like a book or something I want. But I like being in shows where I'm engaged and I'm having fun with people, and it's kind of like a social event, kind of when you're there. I mean, on Saturday, I mod like 4 or 5 shows on Saturday, and I don't have to buy a damn book at all, but I get to interact with a lot of people and see people, and it's just like it's kind of like going to the bar and you see people and stuff like that. People, it's just that interaction. I've met a lot of great people, and I can tell you there's people in this room right now that's here, skipping stones. I want to tell everybody she is by far one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. And I got my package the other day, and she knows how much I love Masters of the Universe, and she went out and got me 2 exclusive Masters of the Universe pop figures, and it was in my package. She didn't have to do that. And I texted her right away and thanked her, and it was just tremendous. And in Richard Soder's stream, Bailey was in there and Bailey wanted a certain book and she must have been away. And I purchased it. And when he came back, I was like, give it to Bailey. Okay. I'm okay with it. You know, I'm not worried about that. And Richard's like, oh, I'm just going to take care of you. And he did. He sent me something in place of it, but he didn't have to do that either. And that's where the engagement comes from. We have created not just a community, but we have created people you can lean on, people that are friends, true friends, and people that you can count on. And that is where building this community and everything we have done over the last 2-3 years has gotten to this point that I know if I have an issue, I could call Skippin, I could call Richard, I could call Flat Earth. I think I text Flat Earth more than anybody, and that's like every day there's a message going back and forth. Flat Earth's like, did you see the trailer of Masters of the Universe today? It was like, I'm like, yes. I'm like, so, or the teaser. And, you know, it's just stuff like that. I mean, that's where the engagement, I didn't know Flat Earth 4 years ago. I didn't know Skipping Stones. I didn't know Richard Soder. But I guarantee you, if I pick up that phone tomorrow and need to call any of them, they'll answer. So that's where this engagement comes from. There's been some bad. There's been some people that have been real, and you know what? You cut their asses off. Point simple. There's too many good people here, and too many good people around that you don't need to worry about that nonsense. Just stay with the good people and you will be fine.
Yeah, definitely don't get involved in the drama.
And
No, it's not worth it.
that you may
Life
not
is too
interact
fucking
with them.
short.
You may not interact with them enough or as much, but trust me, you want Alien on your side. You want a good guy. He's a damn good guy.
Well, I know Alien's a good guy and he's my favorite Canadian on this stream tonight, but
Oh,
I can only take one Canadian on my phone. So it's either you or him, Flat.
well, take him.
It's either me or
No, seriously, dude, Alien's awesome, and hopefully you make it to the next what do you call it show. By the way, February 15th. Mr. Richard, what are the techniques you use to get engagement for your chat and for your streams?
I do not recommend this. It like I said, I had to build this up, but I call people names and just I fuck with people. I do. I call them bastards, you sons of bitches. But again, that's just me being, myself. I treat everybody like they're my friend, and you can talk shit and make them feel comfortable. Um, I also play good tunes in the background because the tunes keep me motivated. A lot of it's just being yourself, and um, my character is, a character. I'm genuinely this person, and Flat, you've seen it too in real life. I'm this guy. I'm the guy that talks shit. I like drinking. I like, Mel's boobs, and sometimes during the show she'll flash me just to keep me motivated, and I'll let the chat know I just seen titties. And again, it's just being yourself, keeping the energy level up, having the tunes, talking shit, encouraging the chat to talk shit. Um, the other part, like Skippin and Punisher were saying too, it's very important. You got to go in. Engagement isn't just in your show. Go in, engage with other people in other people's shows. Not only does it help with your branding, but it gets you recognized by people that are following, say, Skippin, that might not be following me, that might not be following Punisher. Um, it just puts you out there, and then they'll see your personality. So if they like Skippin and they like Punisher, or they like, Filthy, and we're all, chatting it up with each other. Same thing with like, Bailey's. Having you guys pop into my show means a lot, and that's why I pop into your shows, and I do what I can to support you guys. But a lot of it is, the community aspect, and intrinsically what naturally is going to happen is, you're doing that. You're keeping that that follower base, that motivation up, because everybody's engaged, everybody's interconnected. We're not just a community, we're becoming a family, and they see that, and that's very important. And we all have different personalities to a degree. The NWO is the NWO. You can't do anything about that. We're just a bunch of shit talking assholes. But it's all in good fun, and we don't expect everybody to be like that. But someone like Filthy or Skippin or the Bailey's girls, they're fun, they're funny, but they're not out there being ridiculous and acting like, a-holes. Even, what I mean? They're ladies, but it's, I don't know. It's, there's a lot to it. Felt like I was rambling a little bit.
Nice. Mr. Alien Warrior, what techniques do you use to keep that Alien Comics chugging like a well-oiled machine?
Pay your Shopify bill is a good one. I love you. I really can't top it. As Skippin, you said quite a lot of things I agree with. Punisher too. Even Richard, all of you have said things that I do myself. One of the things I'll say, I guess, that I do different, or maybe you guys do it too, is I follow everybody back. So when they follow me, I follow them back.
I do that.
Small little thing I can do, yeah. All right, cool. I do that. One of the things you mentioned, Skippin, is when they come in, greeting them. I do that as well. It's best of my ability. And you also mentioned knowing them. And I try to do that as well. Like I had customers that have come before, and it's like, thanks for coming back type of thing. And, new customers, I usually throw in a free book. It doesn't even matter to me. Because it's all for my little girl anyway. But the idea is that I think Rick, you said you want to be authentic, or maybe it was Punisher you said that, or all three of you may have. I think that's key as well. Being yourself, who you are. There are many personalities out there, so you're just one of them, right? Another thing I like to do is I like to keep my customers front of mind. So like when I'm doing my shipping, would I like it if I opened the box the way I packed it, and if it's no, I'll redo it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll put a bed down and make sure it's in a nice bubble thing and all the rest of it. Because there's nothing worse than getting a package that's banged up or could have been prevented, right, from being banged up. Also, sometimes I have inventory errors where some people buy stuff and I already sold it and I just didn't update my inventory. That's a real pain. So one of the things I did this weekend was to make sure that all my channels were in sync so that I kind of reduced that friction. What else, guys? Yeah, I really just, I want my customers to feel happy when they open their things and they'll come back. And yeah, I actually mean it when I say thank you very much. This, I don't know how to make it sound any cooler, but I just I try to be myself. I try to thank everyone. I try to greet them. And like I said, follow up after the show with shipments too. And it's like, oh, by the way, if I've had a really big order, I may take an extra step just to check to see where it's to on the tracking, because I want to make sure that one especially gets it right. And some orders are, bigger than others. Not that they demean the others or make less sense to the others. To me, they're all the same. Yeah, you know what I mean when you take that extra special care, just to say, hey, by the way, I checked, Canada Post, and it's where it's to now. It's to say Windsor, whatever. So you're in good hands, coming in on time, type of thing. Yeah, and the major thing is just be yourself, and be on brand, if you will. Be yourself anywhere you're to. If you're in another show or if you're on another platform, whatever, try to be as nice as I am in person as I am online. And I live by the mom rule too. Like if I don't have anything nice to say, I don't really say it. That's about it, guys.
Yeah, I just want to stress too, mods are very important. When you're working the show and trying to sell books, it is extremely hard to be engaged with all the chat and every new person that comes in. And I have help in the background, and it's still extremely difficult. The mods are very important. Not
They're
only,
everything.
yeah, because they keep you focused. You can do little tricks to where it highlights it in the red to flag it for you to read it. But having somebody there, like I have Mel, but the mods too, um, it keeps the energy level up. It keeps the shit talking going when I'm having to do something else. And something else, like Zilla pointed out here, when you make a mistake, own it. Do it live. Ha- you can't take yourself too seriously. Trivia nights are a freaking nightmare, but it's the funnest nightmare I can do because I can't freaking read sometimes. I forget to, pull out the freaking freebies. I forget to read the freaking trivia question just because I'm fucking going. I'm engaged. I'm shit talking with Mel. I'm shit talking with the chat. We're talking about the stupid fucked up question that just happened like 2 seconds ago. It's just a lot of stuff, and Tuesday night is not about making money for us at all. It's just about building, like we said, that community engagement, just getting people to shit talk. And we like trivia. Somebody else out there might like trivia too. So that's why we're doing it. And again, that's not about making money. On Tuesdays, it's about just having fun and engagement and building that brand and letting people get to know us. And I make mistakes especially on Tuesdays, religiously, like every show. But I don't take myself too seriously. I call myself a fucking idiot, just like I call the people in the chat names. I do it with myself, and it's the genuine me just shit talking and having a good time, and they see it. The tunes are very important. It keeps the energy level up. um there's a lot to it, but none of it can be possible without the mods.
Okay. I've got a question for the chat, or not for the chat, but for the panel. It's something I was thinking about adding as one of the tools. Would What are you guys using right now for the chat? Is it your phone or your tablet that you're using, and you're just watching it on that?
I'm u-
I know
Oh,
Zilla uses a computer because I always jump on Zilla. I'm like, how the hell did you get that sent out so fast? He's typing so fast, especially like in skipping, because Zilla's a beast when it comes to like telling you what book it is. I'm definitely I think Skippin's called it before, the one that gets shit started and shit talking and the rah rah kind of mod.
The pot
Uh,
stirrer.
um, and the tools I use my phone, but skipping, like for example, if there's something me, Zilla, Tawny, and Fellers use a certain word to red chat it to her, so she doesn't see it. I mean, so the other people don't see it, so she knows right away something's wrong.
okay.
Um, I've I usually it depends what it is. Like I can just use the yellow chat, which is basically just putting a question mark behind it. But even sometimes when I'm doing that in a show, like there's a new release or something, because some of the shows I'm in, they they definitely need to be told multiple times, because when you're running a show and you're looking at the books and like Richard said, and all of a sudden, say for example, Mel shares her goodies, he may not be looking at the chat at that point,
I
and
guarantee
then he
you.
might be getting a drink or something, or it's taking a sip of something, and then you just need to make sure that that mod understands if you might have to repeat it a couple times and over again. I do think that there could be some better tools that we could use. Nothing irritates me more. Nothing irritates me more of all the bullshit that gets flagged on whatnot.
Yes.
And especially if you have explicit content, there is nothing. I understand some things. Okay, I get it that it went too far, but everything that they have, I mean, it's insane.
You can't use men and dogs in the same sentence.
Well, why I'm trying to ask this question is I'm one of the tools that I'm thinking of is specifically where you take a monitor, right? A computer monitor, but you turn it vertical and what all it will be is the chat, where it would only be the chat. So it's nice and big, can be sitting right beside you, and you can watch the chat a whole lot better than on your phone or maybe on a tablet, unless it's a bigger tablet. But it is constantly scrolling that you can quickly, but all it is the chat.
I use both. I use the laptop and I actually use my cell phone for the actual streaming and showing the books. I primarily read the
Same
chat
here.
from the laptop just because you can see more and the ability to scroll is a lot easier. And I'm not messing with my camera at the time. So it just,
Right, but let's say Mel can use the laptop or whatever to run the stuff, but there's also a separate, like you connect it by
Mhm.
USB or whatever as another monitor that all it would be is the chat and it's in front of your face.
yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay.
I
I
would say we
look at
use two.
the setup though. I think it depends on the individual setup because everybody has it set up a little differently.
Yeah, sure. I'm just again it just popped into
Mhm.
my head, right?
Yeah.
You almost kind of need three. Almost need three devices. I know definitely I do the same thing as Rich does, phone, laptop, but I have mine on sold and make sure I can monitor since I'm a solo, I can monitor, make sure payments go through and stuff like that. But um to have something maybe in front of you like a bigger tablet or something like that that has the chat and your phone you use for the sales and start running the auctions, it's kind of like you almost need three. You don't need them, but it definitely wouldn't hurt.
See, that's where I think it also helps if you can have somebody there to have somebody there because is my third phone. I mean, that's one of the things that she's in the background doing besides pulling the pre bids and doing this other stuff. She's monitoring all that stuff for me, so I don't have to. So for me, I'm in a little different scenario because I have it. The shows that she's not here, it's a fucking nightmare. Just because doing all that stuff and then having to jump between all that, I can't do that regularly. It would drive me nuts. I would not be a good host.
I use three devices.
Yeah, like what Pilsner was saying is you can use three devices or you
I
can
got
use
two.
two, where your second one is a computer, but you can have two monitors where it's one
Mhm.
is the regular stuff, right? That would be the sales, the whatever, and then the other one could be the chat. I'm just spitballing while it just came
Yeah,
in my thing.
I use three phones. My phone, one phone I use, it has the chat going, and it also has it's where it's my camera. That's the main function of it, and from
Mhm.
there I'll drop my giveaways. My other phone, I'm running it's also my chat, and I'm running the stream from. I'm doing the sales from it, releasing the next bid. My third phone has got larger font, so I can read. So I can read the chat. It's the sole purpose of it is chat. Now, once in a while, I'll pop out of that chat to if I need to check a sold or something like that. Um, but I use three phones, and
Okay.
I actually want to get the monitor set up like you're talking about, so I can see it a little bit bigger because I'm old. But yeah, three. I use three.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear.
I'm using
All right. Sorry.
my. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was going
Nope.
to say I use
Continue.
my iPhone for the show camera, and then I use my PC to check on my inventory or accept offers or check payment, stuff like that.
Okay. Um, well, as I said, I just, one day I think we're going to probably uh, get it where we show off our setups to let people see. Um, one day we'll do that as one of the topics, sort of we'll call it a show and tell, um, sort of what not, why not, where you actually get to show this, show a, how everybody shows how they pack or something like that, like a show and tell.
I want to add something
Sure.
that I do because I'm a mod in a lot of shows, and I have noticed when I do it, some people start freaking out. Is being a mod, you have control of the chat where you can put the chat into slow mode. So that way, instead of the thing rolling up because you get everybody that enters the room, and especially if you run giveaways, you're going to have random people just popping in to get a giveaway and come back out, or you got bots or whatever. So I turn slow mode on. So when you do it and when you're a mod, there's an announce button, there's a slow chat. I go in and toggle the slow over, and you can slow it down to 10 to 15 seconds. So that also helps sellers if you guys haven't done it before, or other people, that helps you control the chat a little bit better, and the chat comes in a little slower, especially if you're by yourself. That way you can see stuff that's coming in a lot better than, for example, say for example, you're sitting there, you're trying to read a chat, something, and all of a sudden you get rated by 30 people. All of a sudden that chat jumps all the way up super fast. Then you get 10 other people that come in there. You're running a giveaway. All of a sudden that person, that sale that you might have had, you might have missed it. And they may figure you ignored them, and they might leave. So I recommend, especially you start getting into that, is to slow down the chat and put it in slow mode.
Oh, Zilla was asking which way was slower or faster. To the left is slower.
So what it does is there's a toggle button. When you hit slow mode, there's a little toggle button to turn it on, and then there's a timer. I think it's 5 seconds is the five whatever, up to like 30. You never put it on 30, because otherwise, I say 10 to 15 from my experience has been the best outcome. But I did it in Skippin's room, and somebody was like, "Why are we in slow mode? Why are we in slow mode?" And I was like, I did that. I also did it in stream on Saturday night, that somebody asked me to mod for them. And I was in Saturday night and I put it in slow mode, and I had to explain to them why I did it. So I just wanted to make sure people that are aware that may not know, is that's the reason why I put shows into slow mode. It's not to slow your show down. Your show is not affected by that. It's only to slow the chat so you don't miss stuff.
Right. And to
Yeah.
clarify, it's the time in between that a single person in the chat can do that, they have to wait before they can make another chat. So it's not in between each individual chat. If there's 5 different people, they can all do it at the same time. It's till that individual's next chat can be put through.
Because you have a lot of people that say a lot of stuff back to back to back to back, and it just helps try to monitor and keep stuff a little bit more organized, I'd say.
Yep. Yep. Now we've got a question from Bailey's. This might be a stupid question, but is there a way to filter the bots? And as far as I know, there isn't.
No, no, I've looked into this, and I've done some research on it, because I hate that when it says when it keeps telling you that people rejoin and they really haven't even left, right? Including the seller themselves. That needs to be something that you can, like, I don't know. Somehow there needs to be a way to filter that. So that truly when people come in for the first time and they're not, and I understand why it redoes it because it's a cycling thing, but it makes it harder for the seller to greet the person, and it floods the stream with too much gargle bullshit.
That's only until you have 50. Once you hit 50 people in your stream, the joins go away. So
Oh, well,
understand that too, that your joins go away. So if you're maintaining more than 50 people in your stream, you're not going to see the people coming in.
well, I don't like it. I mean, I like it when they're the first time through, when they're first coming in. And I
Mhm.
even like it if they leave and they come back, right? But you don't know if they leave and they come back because it cycles. I wish the cycling part would be done, and there's no sense whatsoever with it having the person who's running the stream they pop back in. I put myself. That's why I put myself in incognito mode, was because I got tired of it constantly saying I'm joining my own damn stream. It's like, no shit, here I am. I'm on the stream.
Yeah,
But that's just me.
That's a
I know.
technology thing. And that's because of session and
Yeah,
alien can back me up. It comes down to session when because what they're doing is they're updating the DOM live.
right. And I understand the nature behind it myself, but it's really annoying.
Oh, and here's something else in case you people that
Oh,
don't know. Maybe everybody knows here, but when you only see two people in the stream, one of them's the seller. You count as one of the people in your stream.
correct.
So just a quick reminder. I see it all the time. People are like, "Oh, there's only 7 people here." Actually, there's only 6.
Yeah. Yep.
So just wanted to put that out there.
Yep. No, we can't. You definitely cannot get rid of the bots. They're just because you're going to have to figure out first an algorithm to figure out how to determine what the bot is versus somebody that's just going in and like Punisher going to different streams and just watching people to see what they've got and see how they do things, right? How do you determine that? There has to be some it comes to a lot of training and as much as things are just like in AI art, you get crazy things where people have 9 fingers and whatever. So it's hard, very hard.
I've got an interesting topic, and I'm telling you, I just don't look at comic shows. I look at other type of shows, and those estate sales slash all that stuff. I have watched people sell comics that you'd be lucky to get $1 or 2 for in your stream,
No
or they
kidding.
don't sell
Yes.
and sell for crazy, like crazy money. I'm wondering if it wouldn't be a bad idea to test the waters and put yourself into the estate sale category. Now, some of your regular followers may not see it. Put yourself in the estate sale and see what those people are willing to pay for some of the comics that you're trying to sell.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. I was
I
I'm
gonna
just saying, if you have seen it, it
yeah.
is insane. I'm talking
I
about
yep.
Some random 1997 Superman comic went for like 17 freaking dollars. It
it's
was
because those people that I guess have different booths and different flea markets or in whatever kind of market they sell, it's like they're like, oh, that's a Superman, you know what I mean? Or oh my God, I just seen Batman. So they think it's a big money, and it's just crazy. I'm wondering if we would test it to see what would happen.
Well, I've got enough stuff. I could certainly do it. I mean, I've got a whole shop full of stuff that's storage unit stuff
I
that
just
I've got to clear
acquired,
out.
So I'm just saying,
I
I
just
wouldn't go
acquired a
put your
collection.
I wouldn't go put your big books in there, because I mean, yeah, they might be paying crazy, but they're not going to pay the value of that book. But I'm saying is, if you got some stuff that you're thinking about getting rid of, the comic spot on Whatnot may not be the place to sell it. It might be better selling it on the estate storage auction place to be able to move books.
Yeah, I agree with you. I watch them a lot because that's probably where I'm going to end up going after everything's all said and done for a while. Because I've got, like I said, I've got an 18 by 20 shop full of storage unit stuff, right? And this is long ahead of me, right? But I kind of look at it because that's what I was doing for years. Was I'd buy storage units and liquidate it. I never did it on Whatnot, but that's what I was doing for a while. And so I kind of keep an eye on it, and I see the craziest stuff when I mean, some of the deals are good deals, but some of them are off the hook. It's like I was watching, I was I was watching a very large seller, and I won't say who it is, but it's a very large seller, 6-figure seller, easy all day long, right? And he was at a location where he was doing an estate clear out, and they were selling like 5 comic books, and they were comic books that I have all day long and I sell all the time. Dollar comics, $3 comics, ones that aren't big in no means. And oh my God, it was a frenzy. And I think that like 5 of them went for like $47, and they were only worth, best case scenario, maybe 15. Best case scenario. And he did it in little lots of 5. And then he did a couple of them in lots of 2. And people were just like going, like they had no clue. Clearly they had no clue.
A lot of
And
them are resellers.
I don't even have a clue, but I have a clue because I've sold the books several times. A lot of them because they were vintage 80s comics that I have multiples of and have sold them. So that's the only reason why I knew the value of those particular comics in particular. But like, it's definitely worth a shot of trying. And I mean, I guess you'd have to have the following to a certain extent with the storage book community, but I've seen some even smaller sellers sell. Like I saw one guy, he was doing a storage clean out, and they were like bidding up, and they were like all they were just really in poor condition, and they went for like $150 for, I don't know, I want to say about 20 books, and none of them looked like they were key books. Nothing that certainly demanded that kind of money. And he certainly wasn't showing the condition, but when you zoom in, you could see the condition. And people were like, if it wouldn't have been on sudden death, he probably would have got $200 or $300 from her. And it was like, what's going on in here?
Well, here's something, Skipping, and I want to let Alien talk after because he got cut off just a little bit before.
I apologize.
No, it wasn't. No, it was me.
Okay.
What you, because of the books and the amount of books that you can have to get a good to get a good example of it, you take the same sort of books that you run in your regular show, do one regular show type of thing, and then run another show in your with the exact same books in your storage wars. Then you at least get some apples to apples comparisons,
I could do
uh,
that.
right? And you've got the books to do it, so that's a great thing. That
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I got identical to identical. I mean, on mini comics, I've got identical to identical, and
Yep.
yeah,
It's awesome.
I'd be willing to test that theory.
Okay, Alien. Sorry, you had chimed in before, and I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, not at all, guys. I just wanted to say I acquired a collection from an estate just recently, and I was thinking the same kind of thing because I've seen some of these crazy estate auctions, and it's like, okay, we're gonna do GI Joe figures. Okay, we're gonna go back to comics. Okay, is there any board games? Like, it's just crazy everything, and I feel like Punisher's got something here because it's definitely the customers that are different in terms of knowledge about comics and quality and all that. So it's definitely worth a try. I feel like because it's a different set of customers. Like, you got your knowledgeable customers, and then you got customers who just maybe are not interested in particular issues, but they just want to have the volume. And I don't know, who knows what people want them for, right? That's the other thing I've always lived to learn is to stop trying to figure out what people want them for because they obviously just want them. But yeah, that's all I would add. I gotta be right back, guys. I gotta go to the John. Be right back.
I think with it, people are going to be looking at, oh my God, there's a 1960s Walt Disney or 70s Walt Disney 20 center. Oh my God, it's got to be worth this. And I think that's a lot where the mindset is. I mean, if I would say if you put up the Taroks and you put up stuff that they may have never seen, but if it's like mainstream items, Superman's, Batman's, names they've heard of before, or something where it has a 35 cent, 20 cent, 15 cent, it could go super crazy because they thinking they're hitting the jackpot. And like I said, a lot of these people that I've noticed are either have flea markets or something like that where they just set it out there. And if they feel like they're getting 20 comics for $50 and they could sell them for $5 a piece, they made money. They doubled their money how they're feeling.
I think Punisher hit it right on the head with the one thing is that you put an older comic with something that's well known. Sometimes a lot of these people think just because it's and I see it in a lot of streams when they're sellers, they think it's just because it's old means it's valuable, right? So sometimes that might be when they're buying this. Punisher hit it right on the head. They're buying it because it's known and they think it's old and they think it's valuable.
Yes, you're right. Because that's what I was seeing was like an old Superman and an old Spider-Man and an old I think the other one was Justice League and stuff, and I had just recently sold all three of the books. It wasn't even ASM. It was like Web of Spider-Man and Spectacular Spider-Man, and Batman. And all of them. It was ironic, but they all were ones that were in my show just within the last week. And I was like, I was trying to analyze it. And of course, you'll never know without talking to the person that purchased it, right? But I was like, are they buying it because this person's selling it? Are they buying it because they think it's worth more? Are they buying it, paying higher because they're caught up in the moment, right? So, but you never know unless you talk to the person directly. So, the only thing my only concern is I don't like to take advantage of people, even if they're stupid with their money, right? And so that would be my only reservation with doing it. Yeah, I would feel horrible if someone went and spent $150 or any large amount of money for something that was only worth a few bucks.
I would
Personally.
counter that. I would counter that and say you've got to be able to bid responsibly. If you're bidding on it and whatever, then and you're one that pays $150 for $5 worth of comics, that's on you.
True.
I mean,
I'm in between the two. I have the same reservation Skipping Stones does. However, there's the old adage that the buyer sets the market. So, what they're willing to pay is what that value of that comic is at that moment. I mean,
Right. And that's how I run my whole show is I let the buyers determine the value. I don't.
Yeah.
but I
I
guarantee
don't.
you, if they have a shop somewhere inside of a flea market or something, they're going to put $15 on that comic, and some kid might come by that doesn't know, and he's going to pay $15 for that same book. So, I mean, I definitely understand your thought process on it and everything, but what if it was $100 book and it only sold for $15? So
happens every day on Whatnot. So,
exactly. So like the thing about it is these people, and I've watched it, and I don't know, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. These people, a lot of them are resellers. It's not like just some young kid that's got $20 to his name. These people are buying and trying to resell and flip. And if they're just buying it because of whatever, if you don't know what you're buying, then you're not that good of a reseller.
Yeah, you definitely got to know your items. If you're out there
Exactly.
buying, you've got to know what you're buying and what the value of it is on the resale side. You can't just be buying because, oh, it sells, or it will sell, but because you make your money in the buy.
I mean,
I've
I don't
said
want to
this
sound
a
like the
thousand times.
asshole that
You
says,
are the
screw
asshole.
them. Well, yeah, I am. I am. I truly am. But I'm not trying to be the ass, but and the other end of the thing, like, where's the responsibility lying on the person that's buying? Like, I'm not starting it at $100 and telling you bullshit. If I start that stuff at $5 and you guys bid it up to $120, I'm not going to feel bad about it.
No, but the difference is that you're saying it's flippers, right? And you
A lot
shouldn't.
of them that
You
I've
should.
seen, just what I've
That's right.
seen.
Right. So that's why I say you shouldn't feel bad for the flippers. That's their responsibility. I think we're skipping because of her heart and she thinks everyone's just a nice person.
Until she met you and me,
Yeah,
and
well, yeah, well, I mean, I'm pure evil. So like, but my point is,
I'm laughing
it's
over here on
it
mute.
yeah. Um, somebody that doesn't that isn't that's buying it for their kids or buying it to get some of their childhood back is different from somebody that's trying to flip, right? And I think that's where Rick's perfect. He's right in the middle, and that's it. The people that are you don't want them to overspend, but the people that flip, all all's fair in love and war type thing.
yeah, because even in my show, when people have overpaid for a book and I know they've overpaid, I've sent them free books. But if some, the other side of the coin is too when people are, I know they're buying it to flip it. I'm not overly concerned.
Okay, we recently got a package that was returned to sender. I'm not sure what this means for us. Like we have a refund the buyer. How does that work?
That happened to me once, by the way. So
if we only had a postal service expert on here.
We do?
we
No,
do.
no, we don't. We talk about expert. Come on, it's Punisher. Expert in that.
All right. Return to sender. A couple things could have happened. One, the person could have moved and they didn't put their forwarding address in, or their forwarding address expired within the last year. That's one option. Two, either there was something where the label might have got messed up a little bit, or they couldn't scan it, they couldn't read the address. So that's why there's always a return label so they can return it back to you. Next, the person could have been, we see this a lot. We see, oh, this person doesn't live here anymore. There's maybe a domestic dispute, or boyfriend, girlfriend, they bought something, they kicked their asses out. Something happened, they don't want their mail there. We see that, so they're going to return it to sender too. Some people also try to do it because they have buyer's remorse, and they should. Thanks, Zilla. I appreciate you. They have buyer's remorse and they kind of like refuse it, so it's returned to sender also. So the question was, do you have to refund them? Here's the thing: you sold the book, you shipped the book, it got a scan on it. You've done your job. If they want a refund, they go through Whatnot. Point blank. Do not sit there and try to do. It's different if you sent something and it was damaged to someone and you fix that problem. This isn't your problem. This is where something happened on their end. So I highly suggest you tell them, just go through Whatnot. What if you're a good seller, if you're a seller like anybody that's on here, you have an expert rating, Whatnot will take it, Whatnot will refund it. No issues.
Not anymore. Not
Well-
anymore. No, it's changed in the last month.
Well, I can tell you I just have, but what I'm saying is you did your part. So I would not personally send a refund to them.
It's only for very high value stuff. I think it's above $150 to $200 when Whatnot gets involved. Now the system is, what it does is it if it's
I
under
just
that,
had an issue. I just bought 20 books from somebody, a good seller that had corner damage on 10 books.
Mhm.
And I put it in there. I put it in and put every picture, even when it was bundled. I
Mhm.
put a small picture on every one, and they refunded every single one, no question asked.
well, I just
And that
did
just
one.
happened.
I just did one the other day, and basically what it was is it notified the seller, and the seller either gave you your money back or did something. But it went to the seller. It actually didn't even
Okay.
go to
So it
Whatnot.
might be something that's changing, but I'm saying is the question was, should I refund them? I
Yeah,
say
yeah,
absolutely not.
no, I agree.
You did everything that you're supposed to do. You sold the book, you sent the book out. That is your requirement to sell after you sell it, to ship it to the person that bought it. At the end of that, you're done. Unless something happened to that book or something got damaged and you want to handle that, but not in a return to sender. You can't control because somebody didn't do this, or this.
Yep, totally agree.
I had one that just came back that was forwarding address not available or returned unforwardable, something like that. And it's just sitting here, and I've sent a message to the customer with no response. So I don't know what happened, but it's just sitting here.
If it says
Waiting for
unforwardable, that means they had a change of address that's over a year old
right,
and they
right,
never changed their address.
right, exactly. And so I just got sitting here. They can take it up with Whatnot, or they can take message me back. But and that was back at the beginning of the month. So it's been going on 3 weeks now, because it was like on the first. I think it was the second I got it back.
Now, I will tell you this for people that buy, I know Skippin has a lot of people that buy books. I know there's some people that buy a lot of books. When you split that, and I know you put numbers on it. When you do the separation, okay, when you do that separation, okay, I'm going to take these comics out and I'm going to get another label because they ordered 30 books and you want to only put 15 in each large flat rate, for example. Make sure to help the buyer out. If you split that, know the numbers that you split on that. So make sure you read down and say it's like they bought 7, 10, 14, 16, 20, 25, 30. Don't just grab 15 of their books. Try to help them out, because what happened when I just had that incident, I had to go and do multiple ones like that because they had to split my order into two. And I had to go down the second one, and they're like, Whatnot's like, well, how did you have the bend in that one too? It's because they put the books that all in the one box, but didn't have the right numbers with that box. And that's what I had to explain to them. Like, this is what they did. So just be careful with that if you got to split orders.
Packing slip, multiple packing slips with highlighter. If you do split it, uh, highlight the books that are in that box and do a second packing slip, same thing, and just highlight the other ones.
Yeah, you
Whatnot
just
made me do that with Zilla's books from Sunday, those big lots. They wouldn't even give me the option to combine them, which was weird.
Huh.
But that's happened like twice in the past 2 years.
But like when I separated, I have their names on everybody's books, and I don't write down the auction number. I just have their name on it. And when I put all their books, like if I say it's Zilla and I have Soda Pop and I have Skippin' and I have Aliens pile, if I feel like it needs to be separated, I need to make sure what books go into that one box, the one that gets separated, because I make sure that I verify everything. I make sure I was like, okay, 6 items. I only have 4 here. Why do I only have 4? And I go down, up Zilla won 2 giveaways. Okay, so that's where these 6 goes to. So that's how I do it. I'm not, everybody has their own way. So, and for some reason, I don't know how your handwritings are. Sometimes you get mixed up into it and you write something that's not even a name. You write like exclusive or something on it. Something weird you write on the slip, and you get down to it. And I'm like, that person only has 4 books. What the hell? And you're like going through your books, and I set my big table up and I get those people done. And then I pull the next set of people up and I'm like, all right, I got this book. Oh, there's his book right there. It says exclusive. I watched a video, and just to make sure it's right. Just his purchase. So that's what I just want to make you guys aware of, that because when I went to do it this time, it literally listed the box that was split, and I was able to select each and every single one, 7, 10, 11, 12, 15, 18, and then put a picture in each one and then send it all at once. That's how they're doing it now. Plus whatever Flat was saying about now it's this way with certain ways, certain things. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
To answer DJ's question in the chat, with the Zilla incident from Sunday, it did not charge Zilla any extra. So I went to see if it was going to charge me or take one of my 5 for the week out. It didn't do that with me either. So I don't know. I've never actually separated out on my own, like without Whatnot forcing me to. So that part I don't know. But with Zilla's, it didn't charge him extra, and it didn't even take away from one of my 5. So I don't know what they were doing. Might have been a glitch in the matrix.
I can answer the other part of that question.
Guys, this splitting is okay.
Sorry. If you unbundle the order as the seller, there's 2 things you need to know. Yes, the seller is going to pay the shipping, not the buyer, for that second package. That's different than when Whatnot splits it. And one of the reasons why you should be accounting the numbers, and I don't always do this, and I need to do this. But the reason why you want to do that is because your package, when it goes priority, is insured. And so if you put, say, $100 book or a higher value book in when you're splitting the bundle, and there's a damage to one of the packages but not the other package, it's only going to be insured for what you put in that package or what you say is in that package. Meaning, so if you say that, now I wouldn't do it for 12 books, mind you. But if you were to do it just for figuratively numbers, right? Say you split it where you have 10 books and you put 5 and 5. You want to make sure the 5 and 5, and again, I wouldn't do it for 10 books. We're talking like hundreds of books that splits it, because I can fit 50 to 60 books in a box. You typically, comic books, you can put 50 to 60 books in a large rate box. But I do have a couple customers that I'll bundle the packages over the weekend, and so you do that. But if I was to split it, you want to split it with the correct numbers, which going in which box. For that reason, most importantly, is if there's a damage or doesn't receive it, you don't want to screw the customer by saying, or even screw UPS or USPS or whatever. You want it to be accurate for what it is, so that way if there's a claim, that claim can be true to what was in the box.
Okay.
But yeah, if you split it yourself, if the shipper splits or if the seller splits it, it either goes to your exceptions, one of your 5s. And I don't even know if it goes to that. I think you have to still pay the $9.21 for the second box. But if you're buying 100 books from me, $9.21, I don't mind that. I'll eat that. Because typically that's on a order that's in the hundreds, and then you just put it in your write-offs at the end of the year.
Well, Alien had a question. You were saying for splitting. Remember,
thanks.
it's a little different because we're
I was
Canadian.
just curious because I've never. Okay, cool. So maybe it is different then, because I've never had to split anything. I've only had to combine them. So is splitting happening like with like several hundreds of books? Like you have like a customer is buying like 200 books, that kind of thing?
It's
You have
when
to
they
have like
go
package
to
1 of 4, 2 of 4.
it's when you actually, it's in your setup, in your shipping setup, where your profiles. It depends on, you can set how many maximum of a specific item you can put into a package. Like you can set your flat rate and whatever. It's when you set up your flat rate stuff, which we don't have on our side. Sorry, I was gonna.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
Punisher was
Okay.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
On the American side,
Cool. Thank
when
you.
you hit the little pencil, you can go up and unbundle anything. And if you have 5, you have 5 changes you can make, and it will count as one of your 5, and you will not have to pay the $9.21. It's when you exhaust the 5 you would have to pay. Now, if you run multiple shows throughout the weekend, that 5 could go quick, or 5 throughout the week, but it should be 5 per show, but that's here nor there. But you can absolutely do it with the pencil and go, and then you go up to the top and you can select the books you want to unbundle. For example, say you only sold 15 books and you did a giveaway, and say the giveaway was say it was a PS Portal, for example, or a Nintendo Switch. Obviously, you're not going to get that in there. So that's when you can unbundle it and put just to switch itself into another flat rate box. Or if you decide to do something similar with books that are bigger, like for example, the what are they called? The thicker books, or say you're throwing something else in, the pops that Skippin
It's like
sent me.
trade
You can
paperback.
do all that.
Or treasury editions.
Yeah, Treasury Edition, trade paperbacks, all that like that. You
Right.
get 20 trade paperbacks, you're not getting them in that medium flat rate.
Yeah, we're not. That's where we're different. Alien is because
100%.
we've only got Canada Post or Chit Chats
Okay.
as an option, right? They've got USPS, they've got all that, uh, flat rate shipping and such.
Cool. Thanks very much.
And if anybody does have questions about shipping or wants to learn how to send 74-cent giveaways, please reach out to me.
Yes, that's a big thing. Actually, I've got somebody that I'll probably pass off to you. He was talking. We were talking about it about the flat rate, or what the heck did he call it? The something mailer. Um, he For giveaways. He's like, too many times it does. If you screw it up, you can't fix it by going to the mailer afterwards.
Yeah, you got
Yes.
to do it before your show, and it's got to be set up in your settings before you set up the show. And if you set up the show after you've set up your settings, so if you set up the show before you set up the settings, you can change that. If you set your settings to, if you set it to have first class mail in your shipper settings, but you've already created the show, you've got to then go into the show and edit the show to include the first rate or first class shipping. Make sure that's added in. Otherwise, it will default to what your profile was before the show was set up. And that's happened with me one show. I could have sworn I changed it, but apparently I didn't. And then I ended up having to pay the $5, whatever it was. And one of the things I do now is even if I'm giving Funko Pops away or something else away, I do the 70 whatever cents it is. I thought it was 78, but maybe it's 74. I don't know. Punisher would know. But the first class stamp price, and then I do it on the back end. I do the adjustments on the back end because sometimes it can be combined into the show or into the package, and sometimes it can't. And I would rather pay on the back side than pay on the front side, and Whatnot collects the money.
The stamp is 78 cents, but Whatnot pays 74 cents because they get a discount.
Okay, well, they charge us 78 cents.
And what you should do, and reach out to me. I was given the way to make 74-cent or 78-cent giveaways, and you can run a shit ton more, so you're not paying ground rate. But I'd rather not say it live, just in case Whatnot decides to change it on everyone. So I will be more than happy to tell you in private of how to set it up. And that way you won't have any issues with that at all. I can tell you that somebody reached out to me and told me, and it is phenomenal. I mean, imagine running 10 giveaways and you're spending less than $10.
Yep.
Or cheaper than that, than running one or two giveaways or three giveaways and paying $15. Just saying.
Right.
You can run, because I made the mistake once of deciding to run giveaways the entire show. I decided, you know what? I'm going to do giveaways the entire show. And that was about a $92 mistake.
Yep, I've done that.
No,
I need to know how to do that, Punisher, so we'll connect offline.
Guilty as charged.
it's only gonna be till something that's in first class mail, right? It'd have to be in an envelope, fit in an envelope.
Listen, there's a trick to it There
Okay.
is a trick, doesn't matter what category you're in. There is a trick that I was taught and just recently. So I would prefer to say it offline. And so anybody, you can message me if I know who you are, whatever, and you're a seller, send me your phone number in DM and whatnot, and I will text you how to do it.
No, no,
Okay.
no. I think they were asking, can you send a comic via that, or does it have to fit?
74 cents?
Yeah,
No, you're not going to send. I mean, you
that's what
can
I'm saying.
send it, but unless you plan on folding it in four and making origami, you might want to not think about doing that.
Right, that's what I meant. It had to fit in a regular
I would say this
envelope.
is regular giveaways. You want to get people, you want to keep getting
Sticker.
engaged, stickers, cards, whatever. Comic, you're not getting away with that 74 cents or 78 cents. There's no way that everything has to be under an ounce to work for that. So it has to be stickers or a card or something.
Yeah.
And you're doing it as regular giveaways. You want to do something else? Give a buyer's giveaway
Yeah.
where you want to give a
Or
comic away,
or throw extras in people's.
like I do.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Does the chat or anybody else have any other questions that they'd like to talk about this week? We'll wait for the chat because they're about 30 seconds behind. And if not, what we'll do is we'll go around the horn, have everyone say what they've got coming up, what cool stuff that they've got, any exclusives, any whatever. And it doesn't seem like it. So we'll start with skipping. We'll go around the horn. Where can people find you? Where can they get you on the socials? What have you got coming up?
Um, Thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it, and I love hanging out with you guys and getting to know you all better. Um, Thursdays, Fridays, Sundays, on whatnot, 4 o'clock is what I got going on. And coming up at the first part of February, I've got my next coloring book drop, which is where I'm presenting Critical Hits, Chris over at Critical Hits' artwork. And he has taken our several of our pets and turned them into superheroes. And they are all the proceeds from that and from the Surtur drop. Basically, I use the Surtur drop to finance part of the Critical Hits one, but all the coloring books sales are going to Vets for Pets, which takes homeless pets and rehabilitates them if needed, and pairs them up with vets who are injured in war, be it both emotionally as well as physically, and they get these homeless animals homes with the veterans that need it, and then they also follow the animal through the animal's life should the veteran need veterinarian care for that animal. They also help with that, so all the proceeds are going to that. And it's going to be dropped in time for Valentine's. It's an all ages book, so it's not just focused for adults. And I'd love it if you guys could come and support and help me help our veterans. And besides that, see you guys on Thursday.
Awesome. Mr. Punisher?
I am Punisher Rider. I am the ass hole of the NWO. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I truly appreciate Alien and Skippin and Soder. I truly Soder is now a new NWO member, which is absolutely fantastic. We couldn't
Yeah,
ask for
brother.
Flat Earth. I what can I say? He's like a brother to me. We I could swear me and Flat text so much, it's unbelievable. Um, whether it's fucking with me or informing me. So Flat's always a great person to have on your side. Um, we talk a lot of shit between each other, but I definitely know that we're both there for each other. I was planning on running my show this weekend. We've got whether we're going to get dumped on or whatever snow this weekend. And with what I do professionally, I'm going to have to be available to make decisions. So I think I'm going to move my show to the 31st or the following Saturday. No big deal. I'll just move my show. But besides that, what can I tell you? We have the biggest drop coming that we have ever done. We did it with the blind bags, the villains blind bags, and we have now gone back to work. Me and Surter have gone and dug deep and have now dropped in our second blind bags called Vixens. And I will tell you this, if you thought Villains was amazing, you haven't seen nothing yet.
Ooh, that's so
Uh
exciting.
we if you go on my Instagram, you can see the bag cover, and we are going to be releasing each week leading up to, I don't have the exact date. I think it's going to be the end of February or the very right before MegaCon, the week or two before MegaCon. We're going to be showing the covers, at least one character each week, and everything's at print. And I can tell you, when we had Zoom meetings to go over these covers, and because we have glows, 3D, 2D, glitters, white metals, silver metal, leathers, linens, and everything's a one of one. And this time it's going to be 150 bags. So, and I I cannot wait to show you guys all the amazing stuff that we did. I can tell you that we dug deep, and I told Surtur of a Vixen that I wanted to do. And I think you guys are going to be pretty blown away. I really, really do. I can tell you the second time. The first time I got my very first exclusive, when the first time I seen it and it was shown to me before it went to print, I jumped out of my seat. I've been doing this now for a while and I have lots of exclusives. I jumped out of my seat for Vixens. So I can tell you, if I'm jumping out of my seat, it's something insane. So,
Exciting.
yeah. So I'm super excited. I can't wait till you guys listen. I understand sometimes these bags can go for expensive money. We start them all at the same price. For those of you that were in the Villains Blind Bag show, just come watch it. It just to see. I'm not asking anybody to buy anything. I'm just saying, just watch and look at the killer stuff that me and Surtur did, because it is not easy. Most people try to put one book out. To try to do 150 different variations of different stuff is not easy, and to make sure everybody gets something special. And me and Serta are hoping that you blow something away. I also have a massive project in the works, that I am working on right now, and that's hopefully it'll be here this summer. And I think it's such an exciting idea, and I think it's one of the first times that Serta agreed with me. And that's going to blow you guys away also, because I want to do something insane, like something off the wall insane. And that's what I want to do. And Punisher Rider, that's what Punisher Rider brings, the creative side of things. And more than doing shows, that's what I like to do. So I thank everyone for being in the chat. You guys are phenomenal. Like Zilla said, Bragging Rights was phenomenal this past Monday. If you missed it, go back and watch it. The NWO did not let you down. And again, thank you guys for always being here. And I've taken up enough time.
Okay, Mr. Rick Soder.
All right, you
Pop
can
Comics.
Soder Pop Comics, Soder Pop _ comics on Whatnot. You can find us Sunday at noon Central. That's our big boy book show or big girl book show, depending on who you are. Tuesday nights trivia, 6 p.m. Central. That's a good freaking time too. You can find me on Bragging Rights. You can find me here on Whatnot Why Not, Instagram, rick.soder.mn. You can find me on OnlyFans, Big Feet, Big Meat, and that's about it. So, yeah, we're getting around, getting out there.
Mr. Alien, tell us where they can find you.
I don't know if I can talk that long. All right, dude, that was awesome. Punisher, dude, your 150 variants sound really sick, man. I can't wait to see them. You guys can follow me on Whatnot at Alien Warrior 75, just like I have it here on the chat, or my website, aliencomics.ca, or on X, Alien Warrior 75. We do shows on Whatnot Wednesdays at 6 Eastern, every Wednesday. And also, I'm on the other platforms too, like eBay, Alien Warrior _75. I'm also on there. Find links from my website. We do like to do rare books, rare print price variants, and like double covers and wacky stuff like Mark Jewelers Upside Down, which I saw today. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, yeah, guys, thank you for having me, and I appreciate all the folks on the chat and the questions we get, and I do appreciate this Wednesday. I love being a part of it. Thanks a lot. All right, we'll see you next time.
Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course you know me from Whatnot Why Not, since you're listening to it, Bragging Rights, Guess the Grade, but yeah, I'm gonna start doing shows again on Whatnot. Yep, under FE. By the way, my Whatnot handle for selling is FES, as in Flat Earth Santa. So FES Comics. Same one for my Instagram sales. I'm going to start posting 1 to 3 books every single day for sale, and piling up just to get rid of some of the extra stock that I have. Those that are in the area, including Alien, I will be at the Monte Casino. I don't know what's it called, the plaza, the Monte Casino Plaza in Toronto for a show. I'll be boothing there. Had a great show last time, so I'm doing it again. Yeah, so guys, come out if you can. Please, I ask that you guys can, watch some of the pickup videos or whatever. You don't have to watch them. Just put them in the background, put them on mute. It just helps for getting some watch hours. So I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. Guys, we couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't do it without you. And we really appreciate you to no end. We just can't say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see everybody next week. For those, I'll play us out. But if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to in the background. All right, guys. Thank you again. We'll see you guys next week.
Whatnot, this paper's cold.